Hi, my name is Rebecca and welcome to my channel. I am going to show you what I have been up to this week as far as my crafting adventures, and I have been painting on stemware. I like to set up this little vignette in the corner of my dining room to match my dining room table, and sometimes I'm not always happy with the stemware that they have out to kind of match the season and whatever season that or holiday that I'm decorating with. So I just decided that I was going to paint my stemware and come up with something on my own, and I did not have any supplies that I needed on hand, so I just kind of winged it on this, and you guys could take my inspiration and just create what you have and make something fabulous. I was kind of happy with how this turned out. And then my mom had gone to the Dollar Tree. I'm not the only one in my family that goes to the Dollar Tree. My husband and my mom go off to the Dollar Tree quite often, and she found these beautiful Patriotic little solar lights for the yard, and they only had 3 of them left. And so she snagged them up and she brought them home, and she said, you can do something with these or find some at another store. And I got the idea to do this, so I'm excited to show you what I have done with the Patriotic solar lights. So come craft with me. I picked up 2 wine glasses at the Dollar Tree, and I had taped them off in the design that I wanted to paint. And I used Waverly chalk paint in the color of crimson for this project. And I taped 2 stripes, and I was trying to do some red and white on one glass. And so I just followed the tape, the part that I had taped off. I used masking tape because that is what I had on hand. The painter's tape that I had was a little bit too wide, so I used the Dollar Tree masking tape for this. On the bottom, I had taped off around, there's a little notch around the bottom, and I had taped that off, and I used Waverly chalk paint in the color of white. So I used white on the bottom, and then I used red on the top to make 2 stripes. And I used 2 coats on these glasses. And then on the second glass, I did not have a star. I didn't have any kind of a pattern. So I just decided to wing it, and I kind of used the masking tape, and I made my own star. It's a little wonky. I'm not going to even lie about it, but it's kind of rustic and it's kind of cute, and it's mine, and I did it, so I'm going to own it. I used white on the star, and then I used the white on the bottom. Then I used the Waverly chalk paint in the color of ocean, and I put 3 blue stripes on the back just to give some dimension to that white star, and it wouldn't kind of blend in. And then I just took my tape off after I had 2 coats applied to each one of these little areas that I had painted. And all of the paint just stayed on perfectly. It painted beautifully. I was so pleased with how this turned out. And the glass with the chalk paint painted absolutely like a dream. Only area that gave me a little bit of a problem was right there around the bottom. I did go into the kitchen and get a little paring knife, and I did kind of lift that up just a little bit right around the bottom and kind of help ease that tape off so that I wouldn't take any paint off. But the tape peeled off beautifully, and my pattern stayed, and I was really pleased with how this paint and the glasses turned out. I used some Waverly antique wax, and I kind of just went over the whole thing to kind of give it a little bit of a distressed look. You don't have to do this step, but I didn't want things looking bright, and I wanted it a little cohesive look to my decor and what I already had on my table. So I went ahead and just put this, and then with a baby wipe, it just kind of wiped off of the glass beautifully, and my glass just shined right up. You could Mod Podge over this and protect this so that you actually could use it for drinkware, or you could put it in dishwater. I'm just going to use this for display purposes only, and I'm not going to use them, but you could Mod Podge over all of this and use this actually for stemware. And but that's not how I'm going to use this. So anyway, I thought this painted up gorgeous, and it kind of adds to my vignette. I had this little flag in my stash, and I painted the back side of it in the Waverly chalk paint in the color crimson, and then I went over it with the Waverly antique wax, and I just kind of distressed it with a baby wipe just here and there, and on the front I did that too, just to kind of knock off a little bit of that glitter. I had saved that from last year. It was just kind of floating around, and I knew I would use it someday, and someday came. And so I thought I would make a wine tag out of this. And I use this nautical jute cord. Every year in my decor, my existing decor, I had this. So I had picked up a new roll of it, so I would have plenty of it to use this year. And I just cut 2 lengths of it, just enough to go around my wine bottle. And then I just kind of made sure that it was nice and secure and where I wanted it to be with some hot glue. And I put that on the back of this flag because I thought it would make a cute little wine tag. You could use this around a glass bottle or however you wanted to display it, but I'm using it as a wine tag. So I had some beads, some wooden beads. They're about 10 millimeter, and I painted one in the crimson and the ocean and the white, and then I took my jute cord and I strung them up, and I put a natural bead in between each one, and just to give it a little bit of color and a little dimension and tie in with the little flag that I had distressed. And once I had them tied up, I just kind of made a nice big fat knot at the end and kind of frayed the end just a little bit so it would look a little bit used and worn. And then I just cut a length of that off, and then I wrapped it around my cord, that I had hot glued on there, and I wrapped it really good and tight, and then I just put a little dab of hot glue on there, and there I have a wine tag. And I thought it turned out really cute, and it matches my wine glasses. I bought 3 pool noodles at the Dollar Tree, and I bought 2 in red and 1 in blue. And then I decided what length that I wanted them to be and kind of eyeballed it. And then I used an old kitchen knife that I keep around just for cutting pool noodles, because my Dollar Tree has never gotten the pool noodle knife that I've seen a lot of people haul, and I'm oh so jealous about. And I measured it out, and then I just took the nautical jute cord after I put a little dab of hot glue, not very much because I didn't want them to melt, and I just tied it around this section in the middle just to make sure that they didn't like flop around and unroll, and I wanted them all to stay nice and together. So I did a knot, and then I kind of did another knot, and I turned it around and did another knot just to make sure everything stayed together really nice and tight. I got some solar lights. My mother picked up some solar lights at the Dollar Tree, and I thought they were oh so cute. And I had these glitter coral in red, white, and blue, so I just cut the rest of them off. I'd use them in another project, and I put them down inside the pool noodles. The solar lights were just a little bit too small, so I hot glued a little bead of hot glue around, and then I took the jute cord, the jute twine, and I just wrapped it just so that it wouldn't fall down. I had picked this little tag sign up at the Dollar Tree on the clearance rack for 75 cents. And I just took the bottom heart, and I took a little bit of that jute cord, and I hot glued a little piece of it to the back, and then I just tied it around the middle. 75 cents just because one little piece was torn. But I'm telling you, for a crafter, that's just like a dream come true. And I just love the clearance rack at the Dollar Tree. I mean, I find so many awesome things there. And so there it makes a cute little embellishment on my little outside candlestick. So I just wrapped about 15 times. I wrapped some jute cord around my fingers, and I tied it off in the middle, and I trimmed the edges, and there I have a cute little bow that I hot glued onto this little heart. This craft was so easy and it was so fun and I absolutely love it. I used hot glue because my front porch has a little bit of an overhang, so it's not going to get a lot of sun, but it gets enough sun to where the solar lights actually recharge and light up. And it is absolutely adorable, but so easy. And my dining room little vignette, my little wine vignette, it matches what I have on my dining room table. So my dining room is full of red, white, and blue, and it's so very patriotic. And I'm absolutely loving everything that I have done with the red, white, and blue and the patriotic decor that I've got going. It just proves that you don't have to spend a lot of money to decorate for this beautiful holiday season that we have coming up. I hope that you've enjoyed crafting with me, and I hope that you've gotten some inspiration to kind of bring some patriotic decor into your own home. And you don't have to break the bank. You don't have to spend a lot of money to have some seasonal decor. And I'm not a crafter that's really interested in doing anything that's expensive or fancy. I like Dollar Tree crafting, and I get frustrated when I subscribe to a channel and they're like, oh, well, I'm going to do this. And they started out with Dollar Tree crafting and then they turned into something different. Or, they want to show you their brand new, laser cutter or whatever. And I'm not interested in all that. I'm interested in decorating my home on a budget. I'm also decorating my work home on a budget. And that is what I'm interested in doing and giving you some inspiration, because I know not everybody is going to have the money to go out and buy beautiful, fabulous machines and laser cutters and saws. And you're not going to have all of this just sitting around. And so I like to show you what you can do in your own home and with the tools and the things that you may have just in your craft drawer to create something beautiful on a budget and have something fabulous in your home for that particular season. So don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell, and so that you'll know when I've uploaded my next video. And welcome to all my new subscribers. Y'all are fabulous, and welcome to Crafts, Laughs, and Chaos. Give me a thumbs up, and y'all have a great and wonderful happy weekend.